Hello, welcome back. It is Saturday night, and I'm not going to do any packing of orders tonight. Instead, I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit quick, and I'm going to go over a few different things. One is an update on the new eBay promoted listings policy and how my sales have been since I turned off all of my promotions. I'm going to look at one more detail from the new policy that I missed before that makes the idea of doing promotions on eBay even less appealing. And then we're going to look at a small number of new inventory items that are going to be hitting my shop this week. Stuff that is kind of left over from last weekend that I'm finally getting ready to list. So let's not waste a lot of time. Let's get right into it. All right, we're back. Like I said, I'm not going to do any order packing tonight. Typically Friday, like according to eBay rules, I offer next day shipping in my shop, and the way it's set up is for Friday and Saturday sales, they definitely don't have to go out, like 100% don't have to go out until Monday. I usually pack on Friday nights and get those orders shipped out on Saturday just because I want to get stuff out to my buyers as quickly as possible. Sometimes I pack on Saturdays because I'm trying to alleviate any, like I don't want to get overwhelmed on Sunday. If a lot of sales come in on Sunday, then I want to get those Saturday sales packed that night. But there's very few sales right now. I think there were two on Friday, one on Saturday. So I'm not too worried about getting overwhelmed. I mean, there still might be more sales today, and there might be a bunch on Sunday, but I'm not anticipating a big surge, so I'm not too worried about it. But here's what we're going to go over tonight. The main thing is the new eBay promoted listings policy, which was announced. I mean, it wasn't really even officially announced. I think that somebody saw it in the change in the terms of service, and they reported it to some journalistic places that started talking about it, and then eBay announced it after that. So I think they kind of forced their hand. They probably weren't ready to talk about it, but once it was out, they really didn't have much of a choice. So the basic change that people have been talking about, including me, is a change to, I'm looking at some notes down here, a change to the general promoted advertising policy on eBay. So basically, how that works right now is a seller can choose to promote their listings, and they pick a percentage of their sale that they're willing to spend in order to get higher ranking and search results and basically just get more eyes on their listings. So I think most people are promoting at about the lowest rate they can, 2% or 2.1 or 3, keep it very low. But eBay gives you suggested promotion rates, and sometimes it's like 18%, 24%. So they really are trying to get buyers to give them some of their money. And so basically, like right now, I decide I want to pay this percentage to get more eyes on my listing. Somebody goes into my listing through one of these advertisements, and they buy the item, then I pay the percentage that I decided. So for me, I've been doing 2.1%. I tried all the way up to 10%, didn't seem to make any difference in sales, so I just bumped it back down to 2.1. My feeling was like 2.1 is the lowest you can do is 2, so most people are probably doing 2. Maybe I do 2.1 and I get a little bit better ranking or something, but I'm not sure if it really matters. But you only get charged that percentage if somebody buys the item after clicking on your promotion. That's how it's been for a long time, and that's what most people are used to. In January, the change will be, I'm going through this quickly because I think most of us probably already know about it, but the change will be they'll give you a 30-day window. So if I come in through a promotion and I click on your listing and I choose not to buy it, within the next 30 days, if any other buyer buys it, you are going to be charged the promotional fee based on my click, not on the actual buyer's click. It's basically, I mean, in short, if sellers choose to use this system, they will now pay for the ads that did not directly attribute to getting the sale. They did not lead to the sale, but you're paying for it anyway. It's it's definitely ethically questionable, and possibly legally questionable. I have heard people talking about class action lawsuits and stuff, so we'll see how that goes. I don't really think that's going to go anywhere. Okay, so I heard about this, that they started doing this in Europe, like in several countries in Europe and in Australia, about, I guess, in June. That's when I heard about it. And so, just sort of in protest, I started turning off promotions in my shop. I didn't want to turn them all off and maybe signal something to eBay that they should, that something was going wrong with my account. So I was slowly turning them off, maybe like 20 listings a week, something like that. And then once it was revealed that they were going to be doing this exact same policy in the US, I just went into my shop and I turned off all of my promotions. It didn't seem like, I mean, I'm just trying to send a message to eBay. This thing was announced this day. I turned off all my promotions. Hopefully other people did too, and they could see, like, by enacting this policy, we're going to be losing money. That's my hope, that they would see this and they will get rid of it. I've seen a lot of other sellers saying, I'm going to turn mine off in December, I'm going to turn mine off in January. I feel like just do it now, bite the bullet, turn off the promotions. They're probably not helping you anyway, and I'm going to give some evidence to that, even though it's, questionable evidence. So I basically turned my listings off, my promoted listings off on October 29th. So I started looking at some of my statistics. It's 10 days since then. So I started looking at my statistics for the 10 days prior to that, and then the 10 days after that, to see how were sales affected by turning off this promotion. And I'm going to give you these numbers. It's a little bit, I mean, this is not quite, doesn't have like really complicated math, but hopefully this is not too boring. But here's what happened. In the 10 days before October 29th, when I turned off the promotions, I had 39 sales, so basically 3.9 sales per day. I earned a total, this is profit, a total profit of $1,619.16. Out of those 39 sales, only 2 of them came through promoted listings. So maybe I would have made another $1.50 or something if I hadn't had these promotions on. Maybe I would have made less. Maybe these 2 sales wouldn't have happened. Not sure. There's no way to know that. So in the 10 days since then, since I turned off promotion, I've had 41 sales and a total revenue of $1,749.67. So basically, I had 2 more sales in that time period, and I earned about 125, 28, so I don't know, $120 more than I did in the 10 days. So this is a small sample. This is not a scientific study. Maybe it's totally meaningless. Could be. But certainly suggests that turning off these promotions did not hurt my sales. If anything, sales went up. I mean, sales definitely went up. What is it, a lot? No, but they went up a little bit. I would consider this about even. The number that sold before turning off promotions, basically the same as the number that's sold after turning off promotions. So I feel like turning off promotions is not going to affect your sales. That's my guess. For sellers like me, anyway, who are everything sellers, who are looking for interesting items that there's not a lot of competition for, turning off promotions, I think, is a strong decision to make. All right. So that's my evidence for that. But there is a little bit more evidence that the new policies are going to make general promotions even more useless. And I did not really look into this when the new policies were announced or released. I'm not sure if announced is the right word, when they were kind of, given out to the public without the express condition, anyway, move on. So I did a little deeper dive into that policy. I looked specifically at the priority promotion section of the new policies. So they have priority promotions and they have general promotions. The general promotions are the ones I just talked about. You pay when an item sells. The priority promotion is a pay per click model. So if I make a listing and I add this priority promotion, every time somebody clicks on my listing, whether they buy it or not, I pay a fee. So I don't know how it works. I have not used this policy. It doesn't feel good to me, and I never used it. I don't want to pay money and not get anything for it other than somebody looking at my listing and not buying it. So I decided to not even really look at this stuff too much. I've never done priority, and I never intended to. But I did look at the change in the policy. So now what that policy says is the exact terminology says anyone using the prior, maybe it's not exact. This is going to be paraphrasing. The anyone who uses the priority promotions model will get exclusive access to the first ad slot position in search results. So that is exactly from the language that eBay uses. Exclusive access to the first ad slot position in search results. So what that tells me is that people using the pay-per-click model are going to get the first slot always. If you are using a general policy, you will never get the highest ranking in search results. You will never get the priority positioning. And those are the positions that get the sales. I mean, that's how it works. It's whatever is the highest up on the list is more likely to sell. That's just how it works. So only pay-per-click users will get top exposure. General campaigns will not get that ever. So general promotions are now even more worthless than they were before. That's my feeling. My stance on it is I will continue to avoid using eBay promotions. I will do the things that I can to increase my sales, which is these are the things I have control over. Buy good quality inventory that people want. That's harder than it sounds, but that's the number one thing you can do. Search for and find good quality inventory. The next thing you can do, put a fair price on that item. You find something that people want, you can't charge more than everybody else. You'll never sell it, or it'll take a long time to sell it. Make strong eBay titles when you're creating your listings. Think like someone who's searching for that item and what terms that they will use, and put those terms at the front of your title. I think you can put how many characters? 28 characters? I can't remember how many characters. Fill those titles up with keywords and put the best ones at the front, the ones people are most likely to be searching for. Things that people are not going to be searching for are words like rare, great, nice, probably not even new. You can put that in other places in your listing. Put the things that people are searching for. Put them at the front, and then if you want to put something like vintage or something like that, put it towards the end of the title. If you want to put, like I used to put, if I was selling a set of books, I would put lots of 26 books by this author. Now I put the author's name, and then I put the title, and then I put lot of 26 books. I put that later in the listing, and it seems to have been doing well for me to do that. So anyway, good titles will get you good results. Good photos, the best photos you can take. I mean, they don't even have to be like professional quality photos, but take as many photos of the items as you can from as many angles as you can. Show that thing off as much as possible. Whatever you're selling, you want people to see every possible angle of it. Give away all the flaws, give away all the best features of it. So good inventory, good pricing, good titles, good photos. That's all you got to do. Don't worry about these promotions. I would advise everyone who might be watching this and is using promoted listings to experiment. If you can afford to try it, turn off promoted listings for a period, 2 weeks, a month. Put it together. Look at the actual numbers, not just your gut feelings, and see if you think your sales are dropping. Okay, that's it. That's everything I have to say about eBay promotions right now. Maybe more will come up soon. Who knows? Right now, I'm going to show you some items that I have drafts written up for, and I just have to take photos and get them listed, and they'll be hitting my shop pretty soon. So let's go. Okay, there we go. That's it for today. I'm not going to do any packing, and then I want to remind you to go back a few days or even a week into my videos and find the giveaway. I'm going to be giving away some cardboard cutting tools, a set of cardboard cutting and box resizing tools that can be useful to people in this business. So go back there, leave a comment, and I'll pick a winner. I can't remember the date I'm going to pick that winner, but I have it planned. in the next couple of days. So I'll pick a winner for that, and then yeah, I'd love to give these to somebody who could use them. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. We're doing well. Got 500 followers just a couple of days ago, up to like 560 now. So it seems to be picking up a little bit. So I really appreciate it. If you are not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and join us. We're going to be looking at new eBay stuff all the time. eBay news, eBay listings. I usually do packing so you can see everything that I'm selling and how much money I make on it. I'm trying to make $50,000 this year. So if you follow along, you'll see if we reach that goal or not. Okay, that's it. Thank you. See you again soon. Okay, most of this stuff came from 2 different estate sales I went to last Friday or Saturday. I think Saturday. I think I went out, I can't remember. I went out to the post office. Okay, yeah, that's right. I went to the post office and FedEx. This was Saturday morning. And I was going to go home because of my dad's car crashing into his house incident. And then they told me I wasn't really needed there. So then I decided to come home. And on the way home, I went past an estate sale sign and I stopped at an estate sale where I bought a few things. That was the crazy one with all of the stuffed animal taxidermy all over the house. And the other sale that I stopped at, they had almost nothing. But in the basement, there was a big stack of books. And they had, I think, $1 a piece on them. And then when I talked to the lady, she said, well, if you buy a lot of them, I'll give them to you for $1 a piece. So all of these books right here, these paperbacks, I paid $25 for. I think it was a little bit cheaper than that, and I think she counted wrong a little bit and overcharged me a little bit, and then I just gave her $25. She wanted to charge me $22.50. I just gave her $25 and told her to keep the change. So I still did okay with these. So I paid $25 for all of these books. These are, they're all basically like men's adventure books and some kind of mysteries and cop books over here. But these are this box is all the Executioner series. This, when are these? The 70s or the 60s? And this one's from 1970. This is number 4 in the series. So I have, what do I have? I think there's 39 of these. Mac Bolan, The Executioner, written by Don Pendleton. I suspect there's like 400 books in this series. I think they were sort of almost like subscription books where maybe one book is coming out every month or 2 months and you're getting them all the time. These would have been considered like, low bottom of the barrel literature, I guess. They're not great books probably, but people like them. I might be interested in reading them actually, but I'm not going to read 300 books. Anyway, I paid $0.25 a piece basically, so $8.75 for this lot. I think it's about $70. I'll list it for about 70. Let's get that out of the way. The next ones here. This is John D. McDonald. This is a guy who has like built some sort of a reputation since he was writing. Like currently now, I think people consider him, in the same leagues as like Raymond Carver and those types. Even though this came out a little later, these aren't like the hard-boiled mysteries from that time period, but a little later. But people do have some respect for this guy. This one says 1958, but there's no way this book came out in 58. That's like the copyright of the original publication, probably. Anyway, there's not that many of these. 9 of them, so that's $2.25 I paid for them. That stack should go for $25, I think. Next up here is a stack of Ed McBain books. This is another guy who has become pretty well respected in the mystery world. Like these are 87th Precinct, so they're like cop novels. I don't know if they're all that 87th Precinct. They might all be that. I'm not sure. They might all be that series. I think he's written under a bunch of different names too, but I don't have any information about that. Anyway, 13 Ed McBain books, so I spent $4.50 on these. Probably $30, $29 for those. Next up, The Destroyer. These are pretty close to those Executioner style books, except I think this guy was more of a spy, The Destroyer. So we got 17 books here. Again, I think there's like probably, there's got to be at least 300 books in this series. These are written by 2 guys. I don't know if these guys really wrote these books or if somebody else did. But I think this might have been turned into that book Remo Williams in the 80s. I'd have to check into that, but I'm pretty sure that's Remo Williams. So The Destroyer, 17 books there. So I'm having to sort of sneak in the extra money that I paid on these now. So this one's a little bit more expensive. I got $6.75. I'm calling cost of goods on this, and I think they'll sell for like 35 to 40 bucks, probably 37, plus shipping on all of these things too. And then finally, Nick Carter, the Kill Master. This is, similar kind of thing too. How many of these are there? 11 of these. So this is $2.75. That stack should go for $25. So I'm excited to get these listed and see if they'll sell quickly. At the estate sale with all of the crazy stuffed animals, that guy was a cop and a bachelor. He lived there alone, and his house was really full of like crazy men stuff. And first thing I found when I walked in was these pens. There's a brand called Eversharp. I never heard of this brand, but I think they have like a little bit of value, and I probably overpaid for these. Most of them are ballpoints. There's one there's 3 empty cases. The guy told me if I buy all these, he'd throw in the empty cases for free. And then the lady who was running the cash station was yelling at him for giving away stuff for free. But I mean, what are they gonna do with empty boxes? They're going in the garbage for sure. So these are all ballpoints, and then this one must be the fountain pen. And then they all have these papers that say astronaut pen, but I don't think they're really what you think of as an astronaut pen. And then, I mean, this one specifically says astronaut pen, and it has astronaut written on the clip there. So it turns out these are probably not worth that much. The ballpoint one is probably worth $30. I paid $6 a piece, so I paid $30 for all of these 5, and then they threw in the 3 empty cases for free. I'm just going to lot them all together in one listing and try to get 90 bucks for them, which is a little less than I would like to get for a $30 cost of goods, but it's fine. I'll try to get some money back on those. And then I found this book for free. It's Sunday Crossword Omnibus from 2005, I think. And I'm not sure if this will sell or not. There's 4 or 5 of these listed right now, and they have like pretty extreme differences in their buy it now prices. I think that like the cheapest one I think is like $39. And then there are several that are like $60 and $75, and then there's some that are as much as like $250. So I looked at sales history. None have sold in the last 3 months. Only 3 have sold in the last 3 years. And 2 of them sold for around 30, between like 30 and 40, and one sold for like 60. So I'm going to mark this one right around 30, be the lowest one on it. I think the other people who are selling it are vastly overestimating the value. So I'll just try to get 30 bucks for it. I got it for free. I'd be happy to get 30.